John, any thoughts?
I think a young aspiring manager, there's quite a few out there. Will they go down south? Will they go after a manager that's already in a job? That will maybe cost them a little bit more, because then they'd have to buy that manager out of his current job and everything else. So I'm not too sure whether they have anybody lined up, to be honest, because it's so sudden.
You wouldn't imagine, would you, really?
Unless they've got together over the weekend.
70 days.
They've earmarked somebody, but we're going to know in the next few days.
Okay, we'll keep up to date.
I think two of the names that's come out is Michael O'Neill and Duncan Ferguson are two names coming from supporters, and they have an allegiance with Dundee United. Now, whether they would want to come up, whether the finances would be right, whether they feel as if the playing squad is where they want it to be, because you've got limited time, you might not get any time because you come in after the window's shut. Yep. So it may just close you down a little bit. And with Dundee United having such a big wage bill, only going by the accounts, I'm not making it up, going by the accounts, it's come out over the past few years, having to pay Jack Ross off, that could limit the spending even more, Paul, for a new manager. So could it possibly be that Liam Fox would be the one that would step up and be the manager? Give him it maybe until the next window to see how it goes, because he's on the wage bill anyway.
Would Charlie McGrew throw his name?
Would he step up? Has he done his coaching?
Lots of experience.
Yeah, has he been on any of the coaching courses?
I just think if you've never been in coaching at any stage, it's very difficult to take over a job. When you're still going to get a bit of playing behind you at a club who are needing to respond and needing to bounce back. It would be a big risk. It'd be a bigger risk. It'd be a bigger risk for Charlie Mulgrew as a manager than it would be for Liam Fox.
Jerry, when he's on the socials already at Go Football Show, and he's saying Stephen Craigan, I like the sound of that. Duncan Ferguson. Now, I think he was on a couple of million a year at Everton. He's not there now.
He's on nothing at the minute.
Indeed.
Do you know what I mean?
Michael O'Neill was also, it was $1 million, wasn't it, a year with Northern Ireland, certainly.
Yeah, he was.
Sure. But two great names. What about Duncan Ferguson? I mean, we remember him playing there before he went to Rangers.
He's been in charge of Everton a few times. Nothing else has come up down in England for him at this moment in time. And if you aspire to be a manager, you can't always decide what level you go in at. You can't say, well, I'll go Championship. Or sometimes you've got to take an opportunity that comes up for you and it floats your boat. He's got a presence. I mean, there was rumours coming out about the Dundee United players being unhappy. There was a little bit of unrest. He's the kind of figure that commands respect and would go in and has a presence about him that could automatically just bring people down a little bit. So if he aspires to be a manager, which he clearly does, Duncan Ferguson, sometimes a job comes up and you think shoulda, shouldn't, but Dundee United certainly is one that he has an allegiance with.
Johnny was some striker, wasn't he?
Oh, fantastic. Really good. Probably should have played a few more games.
Yeah. He was great in the ground as well, wasn't he?
He had a lot of injuries, didn't he? If you look at his Premier League games, for Everton, but incredible in the air, unplayable.
And Newcastle as well.
I used to try and mark it from set pieces.
Did you? Yeah.
Whenever we used to go there, West Ham, it was Dave Watson, Waggy at the back, and it was Ratcliffe, and then you had Big Dunk up front. I remember Harry Redknapp saying to me once, pick up Big Dunk. I think David Unsworth for West Ham, he'd gone off, and I just think, I think he beat me. He was about 6'6".
Yeah.
And he jumps 12 feet. And if you let him get a run on you, then he's going to beat anybody, in the air. But
is this fantasy land for Dundee United? Could you imagine if Duncan Ferguson returned to the city of discovery as manager?
I don't think it is,
no?
Paul.
Okay.
Because if you think as a club, what would unite everybody? What would bring people together and give them a little bit of a buzz? Duncan Ferguson. So ask the question. Yep. You know how before asking the question, he says, not for me. But
would
the
question be put off by what's happened to Jack Ross, though? Because I'm sure Jack Ross went in there, brought in quite a few players, a couple from the Championship, including Stephen Fletcher. He's probably thinking, well, Stephen's not hit the ground running, but there's more to come from him, and I've now lost my job after 7 games. Does that put off a potential manager who wants to come, and do they look at it and go, well, I have time? Will they be promised time? There is no promised time. It's a results-based business.
I'm not sure he would bother.
Well, that's your time. Your time is winning games.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
they've got some good players. If
you believe in what you do as a manager and how you speak and how you want your team to play and what you expect from players, then you think I can change that. All managers, even irretrievable situations, coaches and managers somehow have a belief, I can turn that around. I can change that. I can fix that. And if Duncan believes that, with all the coaching experience he's had and the managers he's worked with and his people skills and his presence, they think, well, go on then. Go and show us what you've got.
That's a great